Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Edwin Stanley and I'm an engineer in electronics. I wrote a little book called Automated Cars Prophesied by William Branham. It's a book which explains what will happen in the future in the next 50-100 years on highways in America. Today we're going to study what will happen on this good old earth in the future, in the next 100 to 100 years. We're going to begin with a couple of mathematical equations. So, Claudine, can you come with me with your shoelace, please?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you can. So come with me on the paperboard. You're going to put your finger here. Okay. Okay. Now you keep it here, your finger here. Okay, so this is called an ellipse. Okay guys, so as I told you, this is an ellipse. It's got two foci that we're going to call f prime. In mathematics, we wrote this equation. It's the set of points m as f prime m plus fm is equal to a constant. You can write as well x squared, a squared plus y squared, b squared is equal to 1. So these are the equations that describe how the Earth is rotating around the Sun. The Sun is located at one of the two foci and the Earth rotates in an elliptical way. So this is going to last a very long time, maybe 50, 100, 200 years. The Earth will go on rotating like that. And it's going to be the same for the Moon around the Earth. The Moon rotates around the Earth in an elliptical way. So now let's be more down to earth and study what an American pastor said in 1933. His name was William Branham, and he was an evangelist later in the 1947. So what he said, cars would be with bubble roofs would travel completely automatically down American highways. Driver would be turned away from the steering wheel playing some kind of games, checkers or cards with those in the back seat. Those cars will have no steering wheel. So this is the vision of William Branham in 1933, something like 80 years ago. Now, let's see how science will fulfill this prophecy. Since the 50s, 60s, cruise control exists in American cars. The next step consists of adjusting the speed of the car in function of the distance of the car in front. A bit like in this drawing. You see that cars are moving at the constant distance in front of them. It's the next step to cruise control. It's called adaptive cruise control. So adaptive cruise control enables to keep a certain distance between cars by means of radars, and this is the first step towards driverless cars. Okay guys, so Branham said in 1953 that cars would be more and more egg-shaped. You can see on this picture that in 1900 cars were rectangular, but the decay is going, you can see that the car is going more and more and more and more like an egg. This car in 2000 was supposed to be like this, and it is egg-shaped. So Branham's prophecy is fulfilled. Let's have an example. This is called a bionic car. It is a Mercedes and it's a bionic car. It will exist and it has a very low drag, 0.19 drag. And this car is a Citroën Air Large and it's egg-shaped as well. So this part of the prophecy is fulfilled. So now, another thing that Branham said is that cars will have transparent roofs. So you can see on this picture, this is a Renault Ellipse. that the prophecy is fulfilled in part. It's transparent roof. On this Renault Versatis, it's the same. The roof is transparent. And finally, the prototype Reinstella of Renault gives us a glimpse of what should happen in the future. Roof completely transparent, like this one as well. So this part of the prophecy is half fulfilled. The fulfillment should come in the next 50, in the next 100 years. Okay, another thing that William Branham said is that the front driver will be turned backwards, playing a game with the passengers in the back seats. You can see that on this picture. This is feasible. This has been done. The same on this picture. The front seat turned backwards. So this is my painting, and that's my vision, that the front seats will be turned backwards. And the front passengers, the front drivers, and the front passengers will be able to play a game with those in the back seats. So this is what I call the car of the 22nd century. Okay, now let's talk about Google Car. Everybody knows about the car Google Car. Since 2008, Google has financed a project to build a driverless car. This car drives without the driver by means of artificial intelligence, radars, videos, actuators, sensors, GPS. Google believes that this car should be commercialized in 2018, but I believe that this car is not perfect yet. I believe personally that Google Car is just the beginning. Cars will not be driven like that everywhere. It's too dangerous. We've got too many pedestrians, children crossing the road, animals crossing the road, and I believe that human intelligence is better than the artificial intelligence of the computer to drive the car. I believe that cars will be fully automated on highways only, where there is no pedestrian, no dog, animals or obstacles. Highways are the perfect place for driverless cars. The Google car has still a lot of progress to do. There is still vehicle-to-vehicle communication to come, then vehicle to infrastructure to come, will be able to control the flow of cars. These highways should be driverless in 1 or 2 centuries, I believe. So this picture that I draw as well is my vision for the future. Driverless car on highways in America. Let's say in 2050, 2100, let's say, who knows? God knows. Now let's study finally wireless charging in the next 200 years. The problem is that the Earth should be depleted of oil in 50 to 100 years, according to specialist experts. So something else will have to replace oil, and it is very likely that electric cars will replace the car of today. In Stanford, they published articles saying it is possible to charge cars wirelessly by means of coils embedded in the road. You can see on this picture that the coils are transmitting the energy to the coil of the car. So this car should flow wirelessly on highways. Cars will not have to charge the batteries, but could travel the highways ad vitam aeternam. This might be the future of highways in 100 to 200 years' time. Amen.